Hello guys and welcome back on my YouTube channel. Today finally we have the tier list day with OP13. Finally seems we are back on a good meta for the competitive part, like the meta of Black Yellow in OP09, like the meta of Sagazuki in OP05. So seems we have finally a power creep. We have finally the end of the jungle, I like to say. But we have a lot of leader, we have a lot to discuss, and we have to see if the meta is skilled or not. Today, as always, I have the help of one of the best players of this game, Gianluca DiClemente.
Hello guys.
And we can just start with tier list. I will show you now. As you can see, we already put something in tier trash, tier Montre obviously, Montre shut up. We put a lot of shit leader because, like I said, probably we have a power creep in this format, so a lot of leaders will be available, or I will not recommend it to play or play it just at local. Not a big tournament is not recommended. We have put something new like the Bonnie, but for us is not really good, and is yellow, not a good color in this moment. So for us, all these tier are totally trash. Don't play it. And we put in tier Mirko Zane is a meme, but both leaders were just power creeped from Emu. So these two are not really good in this meta. And we have other leaders to discuss because we think these leaders can do something, at least be a tier 2 or become a tier 1.5 or have some surprise in the tier 1. So we will start from the Aggro leaders. We have Rayleigh, Belobetti and Zoro. We have different tiers for both three. We have Rayleigh like in tier 2, same as Zoro and Belobetti. What do you think, Nicola?
So I think aggro decks could be good in this meta if you wanna play it, just because they can punish well the break hands of counters of Ace and Emo. And above all, both Rayleigh and Zoro can play spells that makes your attack is unblockable, so you can play around those two blockers that can develop during with his 10 drop. So they're available, they can spam attacks, they can punish well the break hands of the most representative deck in the meta. So I think they're all three available to play.
Yeah, so probably tier 2, not tier 1.5, because are not really good in our opinion. But I think tier 2 is just at least playable, no?
Yeah, just for consistency, I think Rayleigh is the most available all of three, just because he's one of the most consistent deck in this game. They're playable but not recommended for a big tournament.
If you want to play it at local, it's fine, I think, no?
Yeah.
It's okay. Now we have one of the best decks in PRB02 meta, Luffy Green Purple. I will start fast as possible, but this deck for me is tier 1.5, but I don't think it's enough for play really good into Emu or into all the meta we will see in the next months. But tier 1.5 means is still a great pick, but probably you will not get same result as now with the deck.
I think this deck struggles a lot against Emu, just because you need to see perfect. You need to see both Nico Robin and Sanjay Pudding and something like that. But if you spend time searching for those cards, you're not able to putting pressure on Emu life. And if Emu gets with 2 or higher number of life in late game with 10 dons is basically unwinnable, the matchup. So that is the main problem of the deck, reaching a point where you can put a lot of pressure while developing a board against him.
Agree with that. So yeah, tier 1.5 is still good. You can play it if you want.
Yeah, you have a lot of searcher. The engine in general is really good.
Still doing his thing. Now we have Bonnie. Bonnie is literally the evergreen. This deck is tier 1.5. I think I have a good matchup in general, but not that much as to be a tier 1. It's still playable, like the same argument as Luffy Green Purple. I don't think obviously it's tier 2, but tier 1.5 is his tier.
The only really bad matchup of the deck is Emo, but is well represented in the meta for sure. But versus Ace versus Aggro decks versus GP versus Zoro is a great matchup, so it's a valid option. If you're able to find a list that can fight well against him. Otherwise, it's really difficult to do.
No, I agree with that. Obviously, Imu will be one of the most spammed deck. Not only because it's strong, but it's really cheap, so a lot of people will buy it just for try at least, and can be a problem for Bonnie. But the rest of the meta is okay. Now we have Smoker. This deck, more searcher I have, more bricky become. I don't know why, but this deck I think is tier 2. The leader ability, you can cheat a lot of Dawn, so it's always strong. But I don't think it's enough in this meta for become a good deck.
Yeah, I think the problem with all the mid-range decks is that their core is not fast enough to handle well Imu. That's why we struggle in this meta.
Agree. Yeah, Smoker tier 2 is fine, Yamato is the aggro deck where you don't read the cards, so it's always a surprise. You don't know which cards will be played. Always are good cards for put you in trouble. You have to play always good into this deck. So I think for this difficult and for the fact he can play OD Jones, he can have the double attack, he have a lot of banish, can be a tier 2, not tier 1.5, not tier Montra, but tier 2 is fine. I don't think we have a lot of argument about it.
The main two decks has one for life and one free life, so she has double attack. So for this reason, it could be playable. She has the green, so she can handle well against blockers.
The Flamingo, someone in Japan made something with this deck, but obviously it's at max tier 2. I always like to put it in tier shit, but no, it's okay. Put some respect on the Flamingo.
So maybe with Jimba that could spam board could be higher tier, because he can spam board while attacking really well this leader. He's blue, so you can play the two best cards, which are Pudding and Red Rock, which against decks like Ace are good, but versus Emo not so much.
Agree. The deck obviously have some problem in this moment, so tier 2 it's fine, it's fun to play it, why not? Sakazuki is another power creep deck for sure. Against Emu probably is unplayable, so it's at max tier 2. Obviously this deck do always his own thing, but it's not enough for become a tier 1.5 for sure.
So I will not put it in tier Montre just for respect, but it's too slow. It's really too slow to handle. You.
Now the fact is, now we have the real power creep. The new set, the first probably new set in a while, change a lot. Obviously when OP Luffy comes out was a meta changer. Now we have the real comeback, probably a One Piece competitive part, where we have at least 3, 4, 5 decks to manage. Not like now, we take for example Bone Regional have in top 32 13 different decks, so it means like One Piece is a little bit random thanks to the Swiss, because it's always one just best of one. You can find a lot of different decks. It's difficult to prepare for everything. It's difficult to, I don't know, do a good run only because you got the good matchups. It's okay if the skill comes out better than the luck in Swiss. Probably this set a lot of people don't like it for the versatility of a lot of leaders, but I like it because we have this closed format. For me it's okay.
Yeah, after a really long time where we had a little slice of light with OP11 format with OP Luffy and Balobetti that were the two best decks. We had jungle format for at least 1 year, so right now to have a little bit close format is healthy also for the competitive scene.
Agree with that. Now we have the purple part. Obviously we saw the purple color become always more stronger than the others in these months, because the ramp part becomes really good. With OP Luffy arrives like the best expression of this skill. Now, I don't know, for Luffy purple, Katakuri and Pudding, for sure we have at max at tier 2. Lim seems not a bad deck, because we have the new support as Shanks, just set up all your tendon active, but you cannot play any more character in that turn. But with the leader ability, you can play it. So you cheat this part, and it's really good. But it's always a deck where you have to go first, you have to win the dice roll. But like Dicle said in the live, we are in a meta where a lot of decks want to go second. So for Lim, that's not really bad. But we don't get the courage to put it in tier 1.5, but probably the best tier 2 deck. So you can play it.
Yeah, with Luffy and Lima, I think those are both the two best tier 2 decks. Also because Luffy can play Magellan, which is really good right now in the meta, where they need to reach the 10 dons to activate their big drop. So for the possibility to play a card like Magellan, I think Luffy could be a really good pick if you wanna try to counter the two meta decks. And also, I think both Lim and Luffy are also good in this meta, as Luigi said before, because are two decks that wanna go first, and the decks are built to go second.
Yeah, I agree. Now we are already talking about Luffy UP. Probably in this format is really strong too. Have a good matchup into Ace. The game changer is the Roger promo. We had the news, probably in Dusseldorf this card will not be available for the deck, and this changed a lot for the rank, but we are doing a rank of all the OP13 formats, so we will rank it like he had Goldie Roger. For us it's tier 1.5. I don't know, was like your first pick if Roger was available in Dusseldorf, no?
Yeah, I'm totally honest with you. If Roger was available, I would play it 100%. For how good the leader ability is, I think it's still better than Ace 1. Also, it's the only available deck that could still play Giant, because GP and Luffy are okay decks, but it is a real contender of tier 1 decks, and they can play a card like Giant, which is busted.
Yeah, Giant is a game changer, no? It's probably the strongest event we have, and now we are gonna face some format where Giant probably is too playable, but Promo Roger when it comes out can change a lot. We will see if the deck can reach the tier 1. For now, tier 1.5 I think is good.
Yeah, without Roger promo, you can't handle all the attacks that Emo can present to you.
I agree. Now we have Gecko Moria. This deck rise up now in the PRB02. Got some tops in Milan, in Bonn, so okay. Obviously, it's not get kept like the other black decks, because this deck can have the discard stuff, put some pressure, develop a board, but at max is at tier 2, obviously. It's a fun deck. We'll see in the future, because the leader ability is not that bad, but for now it's tier 2 for sure.
The real difference between him and the other black decks is that he can play an engine where he's not based on removal, so still playable.
Vegapunk followed the same path of Gecko Moria, at least. Develop board, cheating Dawn. The aggro part of Vegapunk can be a trouble for some decks, so probably tier 2 is fine for the deck, it's not trash. Now we have a downfall of Teach. It's okay. You have a line where you can play against Emu, it's the Burgess race, but I don't think it's enough in general. It's a big downfall because this deck is always always top, is always not the most follow pick, it's always difficult to play it, but now more than tier 2 is really difficult for him.
The big issue of the deck is that you cannot build it to just play against both Ace and Emu, because if you play a list where you spam burgers, then you are cutting cards to do removals, so you can't keep up against Ace, and the same happens if you play more removal based and you don't have the burgers to pressure up the Emu.
Yeah, agree. So tier 2. Now Nami for me is a tier 2 because they always do good stuff. It's okay. I think I can do something at local is fun. It's okay. Not too much to say. Nothing more, nothing less. Now we have a good part. We have black yellow, one of your best deck.
So I'm putting it in tier 2 because I think it's not that bad in this meta. Just because you can go 9k leader, so you can handle well all the attacks that Emu can present to you, but you need to raise a lot in the early games because you need to put him 1 or 0 life, otherwise you won't be able to keep up in the late game, because Emu continue to do advantage card and you just lose every turn cards to use a leader ability, so it's really difficult to play the long game. You can play Rush Ace, something like that. It's the same concept as other aggro decks. You can punish the brick hands. It's playable, nothing more than tier 2. But
it's okay. It's always a good deck. It's black yellow. Now Zoro Sanji. Zoro Sanji, we saw in Japan, got some top. It's not a bad deck. It's similar to Zoro.
I think is even better than Zoro because it has more power plays. It can present in one turn more attacks, so you can keep pressuring your opponent, let him discard his hand while keeping his life. But you need to draw really well, because you need a lot of pieces to let the deck works. And instead, Zoro doesn't need that many cards because leader does everything.
It's okay. Tier 2.
Yeah, I think it's one of the best tier 2 decks,
One of the
because
best tier
if
2,
you
yeah. Probably the second one.
Yeah, if you can put together the puzzle, is a really good deck, let's be honest. But I don't think it's a deck that you can play in a long tournament, because you need to draw really well.
It's okay. It's okay. Now we have to discuss about Zoro, because I have an argument about it. I saw a lot of tier lists, a lot of guys put it in tier 1. I think the deck is just tier 1 for dead people, because a lot of guys now in this moment don't know how to play correctly all the other decks. More I play, more I found Zoro an okay matchup as an ace, as Emu, as everything. So I don't agree to this deck become a tier 1. I will put it in tier 1.5. It's strong, it's simple, it's a good deck, it's a good pick, but for me don't get spot of tier 1.
I'm totally agree with you. I think it's probably the best tier 1.5 deck. I think once everyone understand the format and how to play the matchups correctly, I think Zoro will downfall. In Asia, at the start of the format, was a really good deck, and now everyone is switching to Ace or Emu.
Agree. Now we have all new decks. Sabo have potential. Sabo have potential. We don't made the potential tier this time, because in my opinion we have defined the tier of all the decks. I mean, Sabo probably is tier 2 in this moment. Tier 1 is too much. But have potential. This deck can become something better. We will see with the support, but it's not a bad deck.
I think it's really good going second deck, because it has an incredible curve, but going first it doesn't do much, so for this reason it sucks. I think all the new leaders have incredible abilities, also Sabo has it. I don't know, I think if in the future we'll drop something to fix their odd curve, I think the deck will be really strong.
Yeah.
But for now...
Agree. But now we have the Luffy TCG, another Luffy. Okay, this deck have a really good leader ability. The fact you don't use a card for counter is really strong, but miss something for become a great deck.
I think it's probably one of the greatest abilities on the leader in the game, using dons instead of cards in hand to just protect both leader and characters is huge. In fact, when I read for the first time this leader, I said if he gets the right suppers it would be a tier 1 deck for sure, but he didn't get it. So in later expansion we'll get something new that will make rise this leader, but for now it's not that it.
Yeah, agree. Tier 2.
I think it has potential. The fact is that you have a lot of cards that you can play in the deck, also because all the red and green, you have a lot of red and green cards that are throughout, so you have a lot of cards to play with building the deck, but I think it misses something really strong to make it competitive.
Now, the 3 best decks, probably. Like I said in the live, for me, Roger can be tier 1. More we are discovering this deck, more the deck seems strong. Obviously, you missed the Roger promo. It's hard to rank it really good in this moment. In my opinion, can be tier 1, but now honestly is tier 1.5. For me, better than Zoro. Probably the best tier 1.5.
I think with this kind of meta, if you can ramp before Ace and Emo can drop their big bodies, is huge. I think the only thing that Roger misses is a consistency engine, draw engine or searcher. So that's why I'm not putting it in tier 1 spot right now.
Yeah, tier 1.5, probably the best. We will see during the meta. Now both. I will rank both. Is obviously tier 1. Tier 1.
Yeah.
I have an argument of both of them. For me, Ace and Emu is like a 50-50. But if I have to bet on one of these two, for me, Ace have more percentual as a deck. I saw a lot of people say if you play Emu at max, Ace is a good matchup. I don't figure out why and in which way, because Ace, if easy, his curve seems really good into Emu. I don't want to say unstoppable, but it's really good into Emu. So I don't know. If you can play perfect, obviously you have to play perfect with Emu. But But I mean, Ace, if you play perfect and see good, have more potential to win the matchup. Like Dicle said in the live, Ace is more on find the good deck list, and Imu is more on find the good gameplay. So, in my opinion, in this moment, Ace have like 5% more for the meta, so for me, it's the best deck.
As you mentioned before, the main difference between the two decks is that Ace lets shine the deck building part and not the gameplay, just because once you reach that good list, you know what to do. And instead, Imu, you need to learn how to approach every matchup and how to play the turns perfectly, just to reach the point where you are 10 downs and you are in a comfortable game state. The main difference between those two decks is this one. I think the matchup between Ace and Emo is favored for Ace, but in the meta, Emo is better. There's better matchup spread. Ace Engine is fair enough. It doesn't do anything crazy. Emo just spam for 10 downs 5 pieces on board that can be removed, and they are 7k based.
I agree. Probably this time the tier list is pretty simple than the others, because we, like I said at the start, we had a jungle format, so it's really difficult to rank all the leaders. Now we have the clear power creep. These two leaders are two-way strong than the others. Roger can reach that level. OP with Roger promo can be really good deck. Zoro too. So that's it. Let know us your opinion in the comments. Thank you Dicle for take parts of this video. Thank you, bro.
Thank you, Gigi.
As always, probably with always the best tier list, we get always the 90% of the meta. So I'm curious to see during the meta if we'll evolve like we rank. As I said, put a like, put a comment, subscribe, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.